Hello Capricorn, welcome to the Plaid Sheep Oracle. So in the recent readings, I've been having this like a word or a phrase pop into my head as I start. And your phrase was that you are on a mission. Although you may not know it yet. It may be that you have not yet received the call, the real desire to go forth. In fact, I think that almost certainly you have not. So the card that we start out with is this koi fish spirit. There is always enough. And then the two cards that are with it at the top and bottom of the deck are Be Peace with the dove and Truth Transcends Illusion with the dragonfly. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, Capricorn, is to spread the word of this truth, that there is always enough. We start with this, right? So here you are, you know, and then you meet somebody, and you're gonna talk about this in some way, but you're gonna do it, right, with this be peace, right? This is not, right, a forcing kind of, it's not really using argument, I want to say. It's not using forensic debating skills to enumerate these things. Below this, the top and bottom cards are the Nine of Water, this wish fulfillment, this understanding, this alignment with all of the things. And then at the bottom, the Nine of Fire. And to me, this always looks like this young woman has entered this cave and just discovered these stars. It's a kind of serendipity, just a beautiful discovery that she's made. It's a surprise and a delight. And then we have this Queen of Air, Queen of Swords, with her owl of wisdom. But she's seeming very messenger-like. That this is owl mail, right? Like from Harry Potter, that she is a messenger. She has this messenger aspect. And this is reflected here too with the call card. And here the message is even spread wider with this trumpet, with this fanfare. And it may be that you're doing this perhaps on a larger scale through, a YouTube channel or Substack newsletter, or, maybe you work for a really large company and you have the ability to spread this. I worked for a place that had a very strong sense of lack. The whole place. Right? And there was, you went there and most of the people that worked there, there was this sense of not enoughness. that there wasn't enough time and we didn't have enough staff, and we needed to keep our prices low because people didn't have money to pay us. You know, we didn't ask for a lot from our donors. We didn't seek out alternative places to get money. Although we all know, right? We know that the world is just awash with money. So it was a mindset that was in the way. And so we have the Hanged Man. The change of mind, the alternative perspective. He's also associated with water. So the sense of flow, of affluence. He's not, you know, he's not a very, sometimes the Hanged Man can look sacrificial. And actually I have a different deck here that has the Hanged Man facing me right at this moment. This looks really, I mean, this is not attractive. Right? This is, you know, somebody who's just not comfortable hanging there. But this guy, you know, he's like right out of Cirque du Soleil. You know, he's got wings. He's totally cool. He's not, you know, the attachment is just this, you know, golden energetic thread. So he's not even, you know, he's not tied to anything. It's just this stream of energy that is running to him. And that, I want to say that instead of tethering him, is powering him. This is this endless affluence that is possible. Right? He is consistently in touch with the source of all things. In all of his acrobatics. And then we have the Nine of Earth. And this is you, your own understanding of this principle. That you've really come into this understanding. And this, today she was looking, there was this moment as I was sitting here contemplating the cards that the sunlight was like coming right over her. I don't know if you can, I don't think I can replicate it, but she was lit up, and this little seedling that's growing out of her hands was really emphasized. Also that, you know, her hands are clasped, and I didn't think so much in prayer, but in commitment. You know, she's clasping her hands to signify that she is making a commitment. She's making a commitment to the life force. And maybe that is what it is, Capricorn, that you are making a commitment to the life force. To be in service to the life force. And to spread that word. Now this was the third 9. And the 9 that was missing is the 9 of air. So I went looking for it in the deck. And I found it here. So this is the 9 of air, which looks a bit like a world card. You know, standing here with all of these things around her. It looks like some of the depictions of the world card. So there's always a sense of real stability for me, that she's really stable standing here. And then on one side, we have the Tower. And on the other side, we have the Hermit, but right, it's the door. So I want to say that you are, right, you're kind of, you're you're getting yourself ready here through some kind of process, a meditative process, a written process, perhaps. Maybe this is you setting up your newsletter or your YouTube channel or your coaching business, perhaps. And then you're getting ready to open the door to your tower. And I say that rather than, I mean, you may go out, but I think there's something more about attracting people to you, because that is in keeping with this philosophy, right? That you don't have to go out and, you know, make a bunch of cold calls and bang on people's doors and, you know, leaflet the neighborhood and, you know, do these things. That when you accept this mission, that people will start showing up. And they may be clients, or it may just be that they are people who are really ready. Who are really ready to join your philosophy. Right here again, you are not, you know, you're not going to drag in people who are going to come kicking and screaming. This is attracting those people who are already, right? Maybe they've been doing a little bit of work. Perhaps they've, you know, noticed how their, you know, income or what comes to them changes depending on, you know, what else is happening in their life or how they're feeling or what thoughts they've been thinking. They've already had maybe a little taste. And so your job, your mission is to take them the rest of the way. So, but we have the star. So to offer this star that is yours. And here we have a very different hanged man who's actually nailed up there. And I want to say that we want to take him down. That part of this is to eliminate this idea that some kind of massive sacrifice is required. The bottom of the deck is the Seven of Swords, which says futility. Right? That, you know, that you just have to hang up there for forever and ever. But below him is the Ace of Swords. So we don't want this idea that you have to nail yourself to a cross. That you have to, you know, make some sort of massive sacrifice in order to commit to this path of affluence. You know, I want to say, right, this path of the Queen of Pentacles, and actually I was using this deck to gain a little extra clarification, and one of the cards that came out during it is this Devil, who is Capricorn's major arcana card traditionally. And then I shuffled again, and I put the deck down, and what was on top, right on top of the Devil, is the Queen of Pentacles, who is your court card. So this kind of, it's like the marriage of the Devil and the Queen of Pentacles. Right, the Devil's path, as in the Devil as the great adversary to the status quo. So this is disruptive. but it's not meant to be, it's not meant to tear anything down. Because then we have adjustment, right? It's an adjustment. It's an adjustment. Rather than something, you know, the tower that came out is not, right? It's not a tower that's been hit by lightning. This is a tower that can endure. That you don't have a need to blow everything up in order for this to come to be in your life. You know, this is the, right, the peace. And so we have the Hermit here with you, right, the star in your lantern. So you may do some, right, you may go out a little bit as well. People may come to you. You may, you know, sort of go wandering. You know, not in some really strategic way, but in this source-led way, right? The Hermit wandering and encountering people. We do get the Prince of Wands, but in this deck, rather than being associated with Sagittarius, he's associated with Leo, right here in the Lion. So that is, you know, he is in this chariot, but I don't envision him as like tearing through the town. That this is an orderly procession. That people are going to gather around the way they gather around Leo. And you are, so you're calling people to you. And some of the people that you're calling are the Five of Cups people. The people who have had some disappointment. But they are not, this is not despair. Because this is Mars and Scorpio in this deck. All right, Mars doesn't despair. He may get a little broody in Scorpio, a little intense. But there's too much fire within him to ever despair. And he's at home in Scorpio. So there is, right, there's fire in these people. They've had disappointments in their life, but they haven't given up. They're open to what you have to say, Capricorn. So we get communication. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Grail Knight with this energy of devotion and discipleship, seeking the sacred. So that this, right, this is the energy that we have, you know, that this way of the devil and the Queen of Pentacles, maybe we call it the way of Earth. That it's not, you know, it's not about having, you know, a gazillion dollars. It's really about the alignment. That you achieve in this process. And that the affluence that comes through it, all of the things are, right, they come because you are in alignment and they come exuberantly. They're not in answer to desperation. They come through joy, through, you know, this summoning of this life force that is just in the earth, in the cosmos, that wants to play. Wants to play. So some of the things that, you know, that you maybe will talk about with people, and I do have this sense with kind of with the Grail Knight, you know, and this Prince of Wands energy, that other people are going to, right, they're going to join you, and this is going to grow. You know, you might encounter other people who watch this video, other people who are on this mission. Or you right, the mission will spread then to others. And so we have, part of the work is the frog, which says cleaning house, releasing emotional baggage, yeah? Baggage that we have about sacrifice, about scarcity, about what is and isn't fair, perhaps, what is and isn't possible, what we do and do not deserve. Then we get the spider with creative projects. So how to involve creativity in this? How to make this fun? You know, how to make this a really interesting process. And for you, this might be, you know, creativity around how you spread the word. You know, if you are doing YouTube videos or writing about it, or maybe making art in some way, or how you might, you know, sort of do this in a workplace. If you are in a workplace that has a real energy of lack, find creative ways to you know, change people's minds about that, and to show them, you know, what they actually have already, what's really there that maybe nobody is seeing, assets that people don't see as assets. And then we have the bee. Luck, industriousness, sweet victory. I mean, you like to do, Capricorn. You're not a sign that enjoys being idle. You're not Taurus. I have a lot of Taurus. Believe me, I enjoy being idle. But Capricorn likes to be busy. You know, likes to have things to do. And to do them with sweetness, with joy, with this spirit of peace, of lightness. Then we have the Chariot. Now here you're a little more lit up. This is, right, this is kind of a little more, even more dynamic a little bit than this Prince of Wands, who's, I feel, going more at a walking pace. In time, there may be an expansion of your message. You may find yourself, you know, spreading it more widely. You may find a great sense of, you know, enthusiasm. Below that, we have this Seven of Fire. And this feels, right, a little bit like a conversion scene. Was it the Scorpio reading that had the Come to Jesus card from the Southern Oracle? There's a little bit of that. You know, and the truth of that is that the Come to Jesus moment is meant to be like an expansion. you know, to suddenly stand in the radiance of that energy. You know, and that people want, right? Like they want to be converted, all of these people. You know, maybe they're cynical or, right, there's been some disappointment, but they want to believe. It's there, right? You just have to get past that, right, that baggage. Below that, we have this Queen of Air as the Queen Bee. You're the Queen Bee, Capricorn. And actually, right below her, we have the Empress and a reiteration of this Two of Water, where here you are, right, you're connected up. Here you've kind of met, you're not quite going in the same direction, but now you're hooked up, you're joined up. And the bottom of the deck has the Hierophant. And this feels like your personal practice. Right? You aren't the Hierophant, the tree here. Right? The tree is the Hierophant, Earth. Earth is your touchstone. Right? This is you in an act of communion, perhaps of worship with the life force. I've sometimes talked, maybe not in a Capricorn reading, about one of my favorite books. It's a young adult fantasy novel called The Sea of Trolls. And the hero is a young boy who's a bard in training. And part of his training is this oath that he takes and repeats, which is, I serve the life force. And it's something that's stuck from this book. There was a handful of things that really stuck. Have you had that experience that you read something and some little scene or a phrase or something really sticks? And that is something to really pay attention to. So I have thought of myself as in service to the life force. And I think you are maybe going to take that a step further, right? To really make that a commitment, a path for yourself. So, right, there you are with that Ace of Swords that we saw. The Elder of Air. Right, the other aspect of this, the elders sit in the king position in this Förhäxa deck. So here as the messenger, and here as, you know, taking it a step further into real leadership. And not in a, you know, not in a religious leader guru kind of way, but in setting an example. Right, but we also have the Four of Fire. You know, this row feels very much like your sort of personal practice around this. Right, we have that Hierophant at the bottom. You know, we have this Chariot with enthusiasm. The Elder of Air, and now this joyful Four of Fire. And then Justice. A sense of integrity. Also perhaps a sense of ritual. That you may, you know, find valuable. Right, rituals are valuable. They help us, you know, to get our minds right. Here with these swords, right, the intellect, the mind, to get our mind right. And then the Three of Fire. Right? This enthusiasm of spreading this word. And with the three, she is alone here, but I think of, you know, threes as working together with others. That it may really help you. To get together with others once, right, once they are attracted to you or you to them, when they're also on this path. Preaching to the choir is necessary. The choir needs that. We all need these things affirmed to us periodically because we run into a lot of crap, right, in the world that can test our faith and our resolve and our commitment. Things, right, that may feel disappointing. Somebody who you thought was really doing well, and then, you know, something happens and they revert because, right, this is part of their path. Right, the ability to not get too involved. By kind of, you know, being able to talk to others. I'm also thinking, you know, of organizational things, you know, when astrologers get together and have a conference, or therapists get together and have a conference, and they can, you know, talk to each other and compare notes and learn from each other. So, particular advice. First of all, there you are, the shaman. So this is an aspect of leadership, spiritual leadership. The shaman, you know, who gives guidance and advice, as opposed to determining action or telling people, you know, directing people's action. And being the conduit, you know, between spirit and other people. Right? Because these other people might also be novices when in communication with their own wider self or with source. Below that, we have the journey, which is death in this deck. So the ways that you will be transformed and the ways that others will be transformed. And then we also have a second ace, the Ace of Bows, Ace of Wands, the new inspiration, and then also the Fool. And actually, I'm going to go one further with this Three of Stones creativity, right? This connection that she has. You know, maybe your personal practice involves going out into nature and communing with stones and trees, with all the really earthy beings. The bottom of the deck is this Five of Vessels ecstasy, a whole different view of the Five of Cups. And this ritual ecstasy, this ritual celebration. And that's probably really good advice, that you celebrate your achievements, your insights, as well as others, and encouraging others to celebrate theirs. Then we have three swords cards. We have this Four of Arrows. So taking time to yourself. Doing whatever these practices are, right? Communing with the Hierophant. Whatever that is for you, so that you nourish yourself. Here with this Two of Arrows, and she's coming out a little bit like, sort of like a baby justice card. Being discerning, you know, in how you proceed. Don't try and convert somebody who's not ready. Don't, you know, find yourself getting all, you know, extra involved with someone. And then we have the Knight of Arrows. Right, this Knight of Swords. But he's not, you know, in this deck, he has the ability, you know, the hawk can move fast through the air. But here he is still. This is more of this discernment, and also of a quiet, right, being a quiet, gentle messenger. You're not going to come screaming into somebody's life at 100 miles an hour in order to, you know, get them on board. Take your time. Be peaceful. You can't, right? You can't force people into alignment. It doesn't work. You can't browbeat people into alignment. It's a gentle process, right? It's the call. So that's your mission, Capricorn. I hope you choose to accept it. I hope I meet up with you. I hope the Capricorns that I know, whether they watch this reading or not, come to this mission so I can experience this. And I wish you the very, very best, Capricorn. I hope you enjoy it. And I will see you next time. So long.